Hey, what up everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to explain what builds we'll be using for the upcoming Nightfall, which is the Moon Battleground. So if you're not sure, the Moon Battleground is another Zevo wrap one, and it's basically just another batch of anti-barrier and unstop. I'll go through what armor pieces to kind of wear, like obviously exotic wise, and the builds to go through for this, so you have an easier time going through them with LFG or friends. The perfect strategy for this is double Phoenix Lock, doing it legit with an Omni Hunter or a Orpheus Rig Hunter, just varying on what you want to go with. Preferably Orpheus Rigs will be more effective in the long run for this GM if you are using a double Phoenix Lock combination. Otherwise, getting into the video and getting into the builds, the first one is a Graviton Forfeit. Another thing, I don't normally go into weapons, but a good weapon to bring into this GM is Leviathan's Breath. It stun locks both the Deftone at the start of the GM when you don't have super to kill it, and the boss. And when I mean stun lock, air staggers them for a good 2 to 3 seconds, which gives you a few good shots off with Wish Ender or whatever weapon you're using otherwise. The first build is a Graviton build. What we're using is Kinetic Siphon, Harmonic Siphon, and Heavy Ammo Finder. I go with obviously Grenade, Kickstart, and Firepower, so I can make some orbs. I can get as much orbs in that down as possible. One for my Super and one for Devourer. Void Resistance, and Arc Resistance. You want to at least double Void Resist throughout this entire GM if you're doing this, and Arc Resist so you don't get one tapped by the snipers and the grenades. I go with Invigoration, Stack on Stacks, and Invigoration, Powerful Attraction, Proximity Ward, and Reaper. On my Night Stalker subclass, I go with Vanishing Step, Trapper's Ambush, Vortex Grenade, Snare Bomb, Triple Jump, Gambler's Dodge, Echo of Obscurity, Echo of Starvation, Echo of Dilation, and Echo of Persistence. And I don't use anything other than my Vivius Quiver on this build, because it's more just you want to kill everything, you don't need to hold everything in together for this GM, to say the least. You want more of a kill super going if you're using Graviton. Graviton is also probably the best exotic to use for this GM when it comes to the orbs on the ground. One, it pretty much covers everything, and two, it's just a safety net super or safety net exotic. The second build to use for this GM is the Orpheus Rigs build. So obviously with my build I change up a little bit and go for Machine Gun instead, because that helps me get my orbs back with Harmonic Siphon, you'll see in a moment. But Kinetic, Harmonic Siphon, Double Grenade Kickstart, because I'm actually not throwing enough grenades to get a faster recharge, so it's easier just to create it with guns and gunplay. Arc Resistance and Double Void Resist is what you want again. Invigoration, Stack on Stacks, Powerful Attraction, Proximity Ward, and Reaper, Harmonic, Kinetic, and Heavy Ammo Finder. On my subclass, going Trapper's Ambush again with Vanishing Step, Echo of Dilation, Echo of Obscurity, Echo of Persistence, and Echo of Starvation. Gambler's Dodge, Triple Jump, Snare Bomb, and Vortex Grenade. Also with this one, better off using Deadfall so you get your super back faster. There are plenty of opportunities in this GM to just get infinite super regen with this build, so I hope you enjoy. The only other build I'm going to recommend for hunters is a Punch build, and we all know what that's like. I don't technically use one myself, but all it is just an Assassin's Crow with a 1-2 punch shotgun going around. Punch, dodge, punch, going invis. Otherwise, I'll move on to the Titans next, and we'll go to the Warlocks last today. Otherwise, just wait a second and you get the Titan builds. Okay, for the Titan builds, they're quite simple. Pretty much, the first build I'm going to recommend is just the one I recommend every week, which is Strand Titan at its finest. Pretty much all we're going to use in this one is hands-on, Kinetic Siphon, Heavy Ammo Finder, Grenade Kickstart, Bolstering Detonation, Double Bolstering Detonation, one Arc and Double Void Resist again, Recuperation, Invigoration, Stack on Stacks, Empowered Finish, Distribution, and Powerful Attractions. This build is more of a pretty much two-side. You can either use this as a grapple side of it, or you can use it as a full shackles, which I do. We use Banner of War, with Danger's Lash, Shackle Grenade, Frenzy Blade, Catapult Lift, Rally Barricade, Blade Fury, Thread of Generation, Thread of Continuity, Thread of Mine, Thread of Transmutation. The other build that you can pull into this one, and this is going into a Symphos design, that's just personal preference. It's another strand build for Titans. Again, you want to be using hands-on, Void Siphon, Heavy Ammo Finder, Fastball, Heavy Ammo, Heavy-Handed, and Grenade Kickstart, Double Void Resist and Arc Resist. Don't worry about my mods if you see them differently, it's just that they're not set up for that specific build at the time. But Double Void Resist and Arc Resist, Recuperation, Stack on Stacks, Invigoration, Outreach, Outreach again, and Powerful Attractions. So this build is more of a actual damage melee build, close quarters with Symphos, obviously. So you use Banner of War into the fray, Grapple to get in and out of combat, Frenzy Blade, Catapult Lift, Rally Barricade, Blade Fury, Thread of Transmutation, Thread of Propagation, Thread of Mine, and Thread of Warding. So with this build here, you're pretty much gaining Woven Mail, Sever, and constant melees. That's the whole point of the design. You can pair this with a 1-2 punch build as well. You can pair it with a 1-2 punch shotgun, which will allow you to have more damage on your melee. Otherwise, the third build for Titan is just a fun one that I use sometimes. Not really the greatest, but it still counts in somewhat of this content, which is Arc. Kinetic Siphon, Ashes to Assets, Heavy Ammo Finder, Firepower, Grenade Kickstart, Double Void Resist and an Arc Resist, Recuperation, Invigoration, Stack on Stacks, Double Bomber, or you can do Bomber Distribution with Powerful Attraction. And then adding to the mix, you want to be using Touch of Thunder, Knockout, Pulse Grenade, Seismic Strike, Catapult Lift, Thrusters, Thunder Crash, Spark of Magnitude, Spark of Shock, Spark of Resistance, and Spark of Ions. Those are the three builds that I'd recommend highly for Titans. If you want any other extra builds, the only other builds that I could recommend for you would be using Bubble on the same design with Heart of Inmost Light, and that's just using a weakening design build with the shield throws. Otherwise, that's all you really have for Titans this week. For Hunters, you've already got the builds, and I will do the Warlocks now for you. Alrighty, we're on the Warlocks, and this is the last build for the Warlocks on what to use for this week's jam. So there is actually like 3 builds to kind of use. Well, the first one is the obvious and probably the fan favorite, which is the Starfire, sorry, Phoenix Protocol. But getting into that, we will be doing a Starfire build. In general, Phoenix, so what you want to be using is Kinetic Siphon, Ashes to Assets, Heavy Ammo Finder, Firepower, Grenade Kickstart, if you have room, Fastball, Double Void Resist and 1 Arc Resist, Stack on Stacks, Recuperation, Invigoration, Powerful Attraction, Double Bomber. I use Touch of Flame and Icarus Dash. You can use that if you want. You can change those if you want. Preferably keep Touch of Flame. Fusionade with Celestial Fire. You can change that to Incinerator Snap if you want. Burst Glide, Healing Rift, Ember of Benevolence, Ember of Resolve, Ember of Searing, and Ember of Ashes with Well of Radiance. The other version of this is to go with the OG Starfire build, which is practically the same. It's just mod movement if you don't have the mods or you don't have the room on them. But this one goes a bit different. We hit up with Harmonic Siphon, Ashes to Assets, and Heavy Ammo Finder, Firepower, Grenade Kickstart, Double Void Resist and Arc Resist, Stack on Stacks, Recoup, Invigoration, and Double Bomber. Using the exact same build, but we changed it with Incinerator Snap, Touch of Flame, Icarus Dash, Fusion Grenade, Incinerator Snap, Burst Glide, Healing Rift, Benevolence, Resolve, Searing, and Ashes on Well of Radiance. These are kind of a 2 mix build. I would say use Phoenix over using Starfire, only use Starfire if you already have like 2 warlocks that are using it and you're trying to get like a fast rundown. Otherwise, the final build to use is nothing better than a stasis build, which is Optimancy. I don't think I have a loadout saved for Optimancy, but it's just pretty much a stasis version of this build. Oh, it's a stasis version of the build. All you're going to do is just use Optimancy with a high resilience, with the same modifiers and everything, and throw them around. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the builds this week. I hope you guys enjoyed using them and you get some clears.